What were you saying about detoxing at Graceland?
Which one of us? Which part?
Just right now, she was saying if I was detox, I would want to be alone in a room. Like people don't detox at Graceland, and if they can't afford a detox or they don't have insurance and they want to kick on a couch, we will let them. We will
So
let them
then,
kick here at the graduate house. They can kick on this couch if they have no money, or they can come to Graceland if they're not too like crazy, if they're not too sick. Then we'll try that. We're gonna try to help people.
Can I
Would you
please
stop
ask you a question?
fucking picking it apart? Stop fucking. There's thousands of sober livings that are doing the wrong thing. They're body brokering. People are relapsing. They're fucking having sex in the house. They're fucked off. And you
that's
guys
what's
want to
happening
fucking
there.
That's what's happening
pick
at
me apart?
Graceland.
Just
Patrick,
You
describe
want to pick
Graceland.
me apart?
You just
Yeah.
But
described
they don't do
Graceland.
anything about it. They don't do shit about it.
Well,
They
Pat,
we
do
do
anything
something
but
about
film.
it.
Pat,
Patrick,
We're
can I
trying to
ask
do
you,
something about
Pat,
it.
they
can I
don't
ask
kick
one
girls out
We're
on the
really
street.
trying to help these fucking
You're
people.
not. They
Oh,
don't
Oh,
kick girls out on the streets.
we're not
and
helping
what do
them?
you mean by sick?
What about
What
this
do you
guy
mean
right
by
here?
sick? Is by
We can help
sick?
Blue
him?
will
Is
do.
the
Blue will do what he's told either way, Pat, and you know that.
Okay, cool. What about this guy? We didn't help him.
Oh, hey.
What about him?
Pat, do you
Wake the
think?
fuck up.
Listen,
What
no,
about Madison?
Pat.
What
Hold
about
on,
Ryan?
Pat.
What about
Madison.
fucking Evan?
Pat.
Listen. What about the
It's
two
like
girls you
fucking
kicked out on the
insane,
street?
dog.
What
about
about?
them? They were fucking scholarships and they broke a fucking rule.
So did the
Patrick,
guys.
Wake up, dude.
So did the guys.
What do you mean? What do you
Yeah,
mean
and
by
that's
people
and they're
being
fucking
sick?
gone too, dude.
What do you
They
mean by
left
people being
voluntarily.
sick
They
when
Do you
they
left
know how
come to your
fucking
house?
sick? Do you know how sick you get when you start detoxing?
There you
Yeah.
go. When you
Hold on,
start
hold on. Whoa, whoa,
detoxing,
whoa.
so don't
Hold on,
tell us
whoa.
that you're not
Can I-
detoxing people.
Oh.
There we go. He said it. He said it word for word. That's what happens when people start detoxing. He said it, and that's what
That's
they
how
do.
he
And
is
he
every
said
time
that
I
people
talk to
come
him.
there and they're
I
sick. And
can't
when
do
he's
it.
asked what sick is, he says that it's what people do when they start detoxing. So there you go. There's the proof. He just admitted to it. I don't know if he's still there, but I hope he is because he just admitted.
No, here's the
Word
thing.
for word.
Here's the thing with Pat. You can't come in and start with, we don't detox people at the house, but then say, there's a couch they can detox on. The real thing is, yes, you do detox people at the house. You
Right.
just don't do it the correct way. You're not licensed. You're not supposed to do it. You put people in a garage. They have no help. There's no one there trained medically to deal with it. And you throw them in a garage to detox so that they can then be in the house after and you can make money off the back end of it. So you're not one to be talking about we don't detox in the garage. And you're especially not one to say about body brokering out of all fucking people. You
Right.
should really watch yourself when you're saying that you guys have nothing to do when it comes to body brokering. That's bullshit amongst itself.
And it's crazy.
And also for the record, just so everyone in the box and everyone in the chat can hear, some of us are in recovery and some of us are not. I am in recovery, and yes, I have detoxed multiple times. So for him to be like, "Have you ever detoxed?" I wouldn't be talking out of my ass and
Sky,
saying
we're not, and Sky, we're not jealous that Pat has, you don't know who here has money. And for two, it's not his money. He has daddy's money.
I was going to
Stepmom's
say it's
money.
very
Stepmommy's money.
And also, when he was bringing up the fact, all I wanted to say to him when he was showing Blue and Evan, the only reason why, or actually, sorry, I shouldn't speak like that because whatever. But the only reason why they are still succeeding is because Pat is in the position to be able to offer them a job, like either working for his fucking stupid company or his father.
One sec. Ray, I just heard a clip, and honestly, I've told people not to even bother talking to you negatively when you come in our chat or anything like that because you are in recovery. But I just watched a clip where you were over in Pat's, you were in the Discord, and you said Evil T is over there, and do you know that she smokes green, but yet she shits on all of us? So this is what I want to clarify to you. We helped you as much as we fucking could. We're nothing but fucking kind to you at all. When no one attacked you or anything, even when you said you were in the Discord again, we say, okay, whatever works for you. That's what we said. We even said maybe it's a comfort thing where you knew them before and that's your comfort zone. But here's the thing. No one here has ever claimed about their sobriety to be fully. So yeah, we did. And I have
Ray, do you want me to
recording.
I can play the recording, Ray.
This is the problem. I'm going to be on. Oh, sorry, Teapot. Ray, we've been really patient. We've been really kind. We've been really compassionate towards you. That's always been our goal. We've never shit on you for being in the Discord. When you praised Graceland, we didn't shit on you then. But what I just listened to you saying that we're a mess, that we're really judgmental, we were kind as fuck to you. And I'm so beyond disappointed that there was no reason for you to do that when no one has shit on you personally at all. We've talked about the institution of Graceland. We've talked about the shit that Pat does, and him coming in here manic as fuck is proving our point that we've talked about for fucking months now. And if you can't see that, that's fine. No one's going to hold your hand and force you to see it through our eyes. But what you just said, that's some backstabby bullshit.
And also, the conversation didn't start by talking about you in the garage. You can say all you want that you put yourself there, but the whole conversation didn't start about that.
Oh, let's clear that up, because you came into our live saying that
you don't have
felt
to be
manipulated to be on that camera, that you couldn't agree to it, and Pat was coaching you through it. So if we're going to tell a story, let's tell it one way, consistent. But I'll clarify it every single fucking time. I love the truth, Ray. It's what I'm about. If I fuck up, I own it. When you fuck up, I don't see accountability right now.
And
you don't have to be in this chat.
If the back and forth. Hang on. I messaged you back and forth. I tried my best to help you out with getting the money to get your stuff back. You sent me all the messages between you and Madison. I was messaging you back and forth, trying to be there as much as I could. We had nothing but grace for you and helped you out. Nobody shit on you whatsoever. We even told our chat, once again, don't shit on Ray when she comes in because she's in recovery. And the other part is, with you saying that, did you know T smokes green and whatever, everybody's sobriety is different. And for you to shit on people that smoke green, that says a lot about your character. We are not against how people get sober and what they do to do that and what their own sobriety journey looks like. No one here claims to be perfect. No one here has ever said, I don't smoke green. And just because you smoke green doesn't mean you're an addict. It doesn't mean you're an addict. Just because you have a drink here and there doesn't mean you're an addict. So for you, as someone in the same community as in the recovery community, to shit on others for how they see their own sobriety, that shows a lot about your character and a lot of resentments that you're holding.
I just want to ask, like, I'm not having a go, Ray, but like, I don't know how you feel that we've been judgmental. We've never judged the people that are at Graceland. We've never judged people for their addiction. That's not what that's not what we talk about. We talk about them getting the right help, and everyone's recovery is different. Exactly. We don't even talk about when everyone comes in the chat saying, do you think this person's relapsed? Do you think that person's relapsed? I'm the first to put up my hand and say, I'm not going to discuss it. It's not our place to discuss if someone has or hasn't relapsed. That's their business. That's between them and themselves.
Can I play what Ray just said?
And if everybody's recovery is different, then why would you go over there and shit on me thinking you're going to get a high five from Pat or something, saying that I judge people, but yet I smoke green, but you're saying everybody's recovery is different? What business is it of yours?
And Ray, let's listen to it, because you weren't just surprised.
The most interesting thing on somebody's live, I was Doug, that was live. Did anybody know Evil Teapot as Smokescreen? She gardens.
Right. I'm sure they're all fucking a mess.
But it's so funny. It's all the judgment that we get for our shit, and then it's like, damn, dude. Like, yeah, there's no like real gnarly withdrawals to come off of that or anything like that, but it's still like, really?
Right, they're not sober, and they're like,
I don't know. I found that very interesting.
Yeah,
it just sounds like she wants Pat
I
to
couldn't believe it because it's.
I also want to clarify something. I've never claimed to be sober, and I've never claimed to be an addict. In fact, I've been open about the fact that I haven't.
Ray,
I do drink
and I
occasionally.
will. Here's what I'll do. I will find the recording of when you came, because I have it, of when you came in our chat and you were in the Discord. You hopped up. We talked to you, so you never got shit on. You said you were in that Discord again because you enjoyed it, you missed your community. We even said it's probably because that's a comfort zone to you, and that's why nobody shit on you, and I will play it. You're looking at it like shitting on because you want to high five and tip touch with Pat now that you're back there. But
Ray,
no
you
one
want to come up, Ray?
anything
Ray,
negative.
come up, Ray. I'll drop
Wait,
you.
no one should have.
Yeah, I can drop
asked,
down
we
if
said,
she
Ray,
wants
we
to
heard
come
you
up.
talking. We said we heard you talking in the Discord. You then hopped in a box and said, "Let me explain." We let you explain. After you said it, we said, if that's what helps you, if that's what's a comfort for you,
That's great.
if that makes you feel happier, that's fine. That's great. No one even talked about it after. No one said, what a shitty thing running back to Graceland, what a piece of shit. No one shit on you. So whatever narrative you have in your head, that is your narrative. That's not the actual story that's going on.
Thanks, Shell.
And I'll also find the clip, Ray, and AZ is actually right, and I'll find the clip where when we found out you were in the Discord, before you came over, I told the chat, guys, if she comes over, don't go hard on her in the chat. Don't shit on her in the chat. She is new in sobriety, so don't be bad on her in the chat. And I told everybody that. That's how much kindness I had for you. So I suggest you show the same kindness with others instead of wanting to buddy and score points with Pat, because it's gross looking and it's disgusting to see that you're shitting on what others do and how they see their sobriety because you don't do the same thing. But when you came up and you said that you had a beer when you went out the other day, no one shit on you. No one said you relapsed. No one did anything. No one said anything at all. But it's really hypocritical for you to go over there and be like, oh my God, can you believe that she smokes green and she's shitting? And I don't shit on people in recovery at all. Pat,
You also don't know why T uses, I'm not going to say, it's not my story, but you don't know why T smokes green.
I've sent you an invite, Ray.
Come from a place of understanding instead of a place of judgment, which we try and do.
And we also talked about how we want to see Graceland turn it around and be that place that they can be, right? They have a beautiful area. They have a beautiful houses that people want to come get sober in. Like, we're not rooting that place fails and everybody in it fails. Like, there's a point where you have to say, if people are going to go there, we want them to succeed, right? And we want them to have the best of the best if they're going to do it. And
well, Ray, if it's not your business why I smoke or what I do, then don't make it your business to talk about it to other people. It's not, if you don't know anything and it's not your business, then if you found, that's not how you put it, that you found it interesting.
You just said you were surprised. Now it's interesting.
It was
but
a dig.
We're judging you. Here's what's really frustrating with this. I'm going to be honest, because I know you're going to take this as, because everyone loves to use the fucking word attack, and no one's attacking you right now. I want to be very clear. We're just not using, oh my God, I just really want to talk about this kind of tone. I'm being direct right now. What you just did was shitty. It was shitty, Ray, especially to people who've been nothing but patient and kind and non-judgmental with you. For you to get up there and say that we're all judgmental and judging you on your shit, there's probably a lot more we could have judged on, but we didn't. We saw you with your humanity and we saw you as a person. And what you just did was shitty. I'm just going to say it that way. And now you're coming in here trying to spin the narrative and spin the block. We can play the video again because that's not what you said. I don't know what's going on in your head. No, she doesn't want to get in a box because she doesn't want to deal with accountability right now. Fuck.
Yeah, I don't understand this. If you want to talk about it, then get up here and talk about it.
Hang on, guys. Calm down.
Let's be nice and let's just talk about it.
Yeah. I'll get in a box, and I was writing out that I apologize to you, Teapot, because I just found it surprising. I didn't know that you partaked in anything. I thought that I didn't think you were in recovery. I didn't know you were in recovery. I didn't know anything about that. And I didn't say it to be shitty. I just found it, I was taken back, but I was like, really? Wow, that's surprising. It wasn't meant to be shitty. It wasn't meant to get points with Pat. I don't give a fuck what Pat says. I don't give a fuck what Pat thinks.
Why not ask
He's just
Teapot,
one person.
Ray? I'm sorry to cut you off, but you say you didn't want like kudos or anything. Why was your first thought to run and say, I heard this on I Am Doug? If you found it interesting or if you weren't sure, why not message Teapot directly? Why go to Pat out of all people?
Because the last few times I've messaged Teapot, she doesn't message me back. So I'm that's fine. I've obviously
and
am
also,
not.
just if you know like if you were just surprised, why didn't you, like when Pat said, "Oh, they're not sober, they're not this," you also did not correct them, or didn't try to put it in that there's
You guys also weren't in the Discord for the rest of the conversation that continued after that, that you only got that one part of it, and I wish I would have recorded the rest of it, where we continued to talk about it, and where we were like, yeah, there's a lot of people that use that, or that are Cali sober, or that use that because they don't have an appetite, or because when they're withdrawing, it helps with nausea, and it helps with, you know, helping you eat and this and that. That conversation went on for a lot longer than what little snippet you guys got out of it. Yeah, what I said was out of pocket, and I apologize to you, Evil. I do. I sincerely apologize to you. But at the same time, you guys got a little piece of the conversation. Then after he left, it wasn't being broadcast on TikTok anymore. And so you guys missed the majority of the conversation where we were talking about how everybody's recovery is different.
Who chose to broadcast it on TikTok,
because you caught that
Ray?
one spot,
Okay, Ray, it should have never been
I'm
brought
a bad
up.
person.
Who broadcast it on
here's the
TikTok, Ray?
thing.
Who chose that?
Ray, hang on a sec. So I want to ask you, here's one thing. When have we ever claimed to be a sober live? We've never claimed to be professionals. We've never claimed that we're all sober. But also, why?
No, I never said that you did.
But that's
why I said I was
gave.
surprised,
That's
because
the impression that gave by saying, "Oh my God, do you know that Teapot smokes green?"
okay, so what's bad about saying that?
Ray,
Because what does it have to do with
Ray?
anything?
Please.
What does it have to do with anything that what you were trying to do was discredit us, saying that we're over there using, but we're talking about people in recovery at the same time. Is what
I don't think smoking green is using. There's a lot of people that are
so
Cali
why
sober.
bring it up at all? So why even at
Because
all?
I found it interesting.
Ray, I need you to be serious for a moment, right?
And I am being serious.
And not bullshit for just a second. That's not what you said, Ray. You pointed out that she smoked. You pointed out that means we're not sober. Again, never claim that. I have a healthy relationship with alcohol. I don't choose to garden anymore because I don't like the way it makes me feel. But I have experience. I have to deal with my family members and my friends who have it. So that's why for me, I'm passionate about learning about this stuff because it does impact my life. Fortunately, I haven't had that experience as an addict, right? So I can't walk in your shoes, but I try to lead with compassion in these conversations, the same thing I would want for my sibling or my aunt or my uncle who have to deal with this. You know what I mean? So that's where we try to come in. What you just did lacked any compassion, and you know what you were trying to insinuate when you were talking to Pat. Again, if it wasn't that, you wouldn't have brought that up when he was talking. They're judgmental on our shit and what we do, and they're a mess and they're not sober. That was the conversation, Ray. I need you to be serious for a moment while we're doing this. We just heard the recording. We just heard what you said. You can't bullshit a bullshitter.
And also, like, if
I'm not to bullshit anybody. I know what I said, and I take accountability for what I said.
Ray, can I
I'm
ask,
not
are you
bullshitting
annoyed that
anything.
T hadn't replied to
Play
you?
it again. Play the recording again, and
Ray, can I just
nothing
ask, like,
bad was said.
Ray, were you just feeling like something?
I'm getting trolled on
No,
somebody
I'm just asking
that's
you
posing
something.
as Mason is trolling me over being on antipsychotics. I'm
Well,
being
no one
fake.
should
That's
no one
great.
should be trolling you for
Yes,
that.
I'm
right?
sober.
Were you feeling some type of way that T hadn't replied to you?
Huh?
Were you feeling some type of way because T hadn't replied to you?
Sure, I'm sure it did make me feel some type of way, but not in a bad way. She's busy. She's got a lot of people that message her. She's got a lot of things that she's doing and a lot of things that she's doing. So she doesn't have time to talk to probably respond to every message. I don't expect her to. But did I feel maybe a certain type of way? Sure. Why I would be stupid to say no.
Yeah, I was really shocked.
So I'm not I understand that. I understand what I said offended you, T, and I did not mean for that to happen. I didn't mean for it to come out the way that it did. It just doesn't make sense to me in the sense that you can sit there and say oh, they're doing this wrong, that wrong, this wrong, that wrong, but then you choose to do that yourself.
Are we creating
it just doesn't make sense in my mind.
I mean, none of us own or run a sober living, right?
Right.
The judgment has never been around the usage. I mean, except for Pat, because he was in denial about it, right? So I think where we come from with that is that's not fair on all of you guys. He's judging all of you, saying you have to be completely sober, yet he was using at the time. So it's discrepancy, right? That's what
if we're saying that, what was he using? Nobody knows what he was using because it never came out and it never was said.
He did say
and
it.
Then
he said he was
CBD, right? Was what was put out there was CBD. I don't know if anything else was said, but isn't that along the lines of THC too? And so if Cali Sober's accepted.
Yeah, Ray, we're not saying that we actually care that if he's using or not. Again, what gets him sober gets him sober. Our issue is the hypocrisy of it, of him not allowing Matt, of him shaming anyone, making them reset his date while he's doing whatever. That's what we discuss. We don't care about the usage if it's helping him. We care about the hypocrisy of it. That's our discussion.
I understand that. I can understand that. And I wasn't taking a shot. I'm sorry it came out that way. It wasn't like that. I didn't know that it was being... See, we're supposed to be able to go in the Discord and talk and it not be on TikTok. And that's my fault for not being aware of what's being
but Pat also said that you guys are coming in the Discord. You guys know it's on TikTok.
So it wouldn't make a difference if it was on TikTok or not. It shouldn't have been said, right?
No, but here's the thing, right? That's another point.
And I apologize to T, and she doesn't want to accept it, and that's fine. She doesn't have to.
Hang on. So that's another thing, right? That's another thing we bring up. That's an environment where Pat is inviting you all in there to have a safe space to talk, and then he chooses to platform it on TikTok on a public space where you think you're safe having a conversation with other people in recovery and it's being platformed. So that's another issue we have. So the discussions that we have aren't around the usage, it's around the practices there that are dangerous and they're not respecting people. So
and why do you think I only stayed a week there?
When have we made judgment on people for their addiction or their usage? I would love to know when we've made judgment on people for that.
When you guys have made judgment on people, well, you guys gave Pat shit for using CBD, which isn't illegal, and
but we all know Pat,
especially not illegal in the state of California.
It was him not being honest and expecting every single person in that house to not be able to use anything. He doesn't believe in Matt. He doesn't believe in any usage, but he himself was using. That was the issue, not him using at all. If that's his choice, he's a grown adult. He gets to choose how he lives his life.
He is an adult. Like I said, I tried to apologize to T a few different times. She doesn't want to accept the apology. She doesn't have to. She's an adult. That's her right. To not accept the apology, then that's fine. I apologized. I'm not going to sit here and beat a dead horse, and I'll take accountability for my shit. What I said wasn't nice, and it was out of pocket, and it wasn't necessary. But I also didn't think it would be this big of a deal. I just found it interesting. I had no idea.
But you also understand the reason that Pat even came over here and was so upset is because we were talking about people detoxing in the home. And Ray, we saw you on video. We know that you detoxed.
I was there. Yeah.
So that's why he was upset.
And that was my own fault.
Yeah. And so we aren't just talking about only usage or this or that or anything like that. We were talking about people detoxing in Graceland. He wants to act like that isn't happening when it is. And we know for a fact you were one of the people that
I was one of them, yeah.
Right.
And the reason why I was in the garage, nobody told me to go into the garage. Nobody was like, oh, you're detoxing, you need to be in the garage. I put myself in the garage so I didn't disturb the other girls that were sleeping in the room.
But it doesn't.
That had to
it
go to
doesn't matter.
IOP or work.
Wait, that's
The
not what
point
we're
is that you were
Wait,
still
the house-
there. The point
the
is
house
that you were
is-
still there.
Yeah, right. The house
And
is
I was there for a
responsibility.
week.
As a sober living place, they should not. California doesn't have many regulations on sober living, but some of the policies is they cannot have detoxing in that house. You cannot detox
What's
at a
not
sober
true,
living
Blue
facility.
Orange?
And the way you looked was rough as fuck in that video. It was a hard watch. It was unsafe. And you yourself said that Pat was
Oh,
coaching
yeah,
you
and
to
it's
do it
still-
and having you on camera.
By the way,
Somebody
can I just say one thing really
redid it and
quick?
reposted it again.
Can I just say one thing really quick? Just because I've been reading the comments, and I just want to make sure that we are not judging anyone's action or how they
No,
behave right
they
now.
did not direct me to the
I-
garage.
No, and I'm not talking to. I'm sorry, Ray. It's not addressed to you. It's more to the chat where we are not going to pick on how people are behaving right now. Ray is here. We are having a conversation and a mature one, and we are not judging. We are not, and we are still going to remain that way. And I don't like seeing people who are picking up on how you act and stuff like that. It's not the subject here. And we're just having a conversation about something that happened. So please refrain from having any kind, and like to the people in the comments, just please refrain from having any type of comment that is not necessarily constructive to the conversation. Thank you. That's all. You can go on.
No, I mean, I don't really have anything else to say. I mean, I apologize. Nobody told me to go to the garage. I put myself in the garage because I felt comfortable in there. It was cool in there. It was dark at night. One of the girls had a sound machine that drove me nuts. So, I felt comfortable in the garage. Plus, I was up and down a lot, and being on a 3rd-story bunk bed, it's kind of hard to get down 3 stories when you've got to throw up. It makes it a little difficult.
I do have a question.
So I put myself in the garage.
I do have a question about
What
that.
am I missing?
The point.
I feel like my heart goes out to you because you were. I know you said you wanted to be in there because you didn't want to disturb the other people in the house, but that makes me sad for you that you were even in there though, because like we said, Graceland's not a place that should allow people to detox there, and I understand you were there detoxing, but that doesn't have to be other people's experience. So it's not so much that we're ganging up on you. It's more so for myself, I'm separate from whatever went on in Discord because I'm not in Discord, so I don't know what goes on in there. But but just the fact that there is detoxing going on there for substances that people might not even be aware of. Before you got in this chat, we were discussing 2 hours ago about personally for myself, I had other substances in me that I didn't know, that I was unaware of. So
Right.
for that, when that happens, if you have someone who is not prepared for that situation and is not a nurse or not a doctor, you don't really know how to detox me. So that's what we're saying, is how dangerous it is and how it's not supposed to be going on there, and yet it still does. And the owner of the facility is contradicting himself in the fact that it does go on, and he keeps saying it doesn't. And then he'll contradict and say, but you can if you want. You can come here if you want. But you're saying that they don't do it. So
I can't
that's
speak
where
on
it's
that
coming
because
from.
it's not my place, and I don't know how it works. I can tell you from what happened with me and what went down with me is I went to detox for 9 days. When I got out of detox, I had 4 days until I left on the bus to go to Graceland. In that 4 days, I was good for 2 out of the 4. On the 3rd day, some shit went down with me and my mother, which is why I'm no contact again with her, and I spiraled out of control, and I used the last 2 days and on the way there. They were aware of that situation. I had called and I was like, do you want me to push my bus ticket another week, go back into detox, and then come then? No, just get on the bus and get here, is what I was told by Mason. So that's what I did. I listened to what I was told because I already had the ticket. The ticket was already bought. Everything was already set up. Yes, I could have moved the ticket or I could have bought another one. That didn't matter. I called and asked them what they wanted me to do. They told me to get my butt there. So I listened, and
that's the problem.
And then when I got there,
right, what you did,
and then when I got there, I stayed 7 days. I stayed 7 days, realized this was not the place for me, and I left. And I went into a mental facility.
Right, but that's what we're saying is that's not your
Right.
fault. Like what happened shouldn't have happened. That's what we're saying is like the fact that they told you to come, regardless of whatever had happened.
Well,
even if you had been using for 2 weeks, they probably would have said, "Oh yeah, come. We'll help you out."
I should have stood up, but that's my own fault for not standing up for myself and being like, "Look, I'm not ready to be there yet."
Right,
Like I'm
we're
not.
saying that's
vulnerable
not,
position.
And I
Ray,
should
you're
have
missing
stood
the
up for
point.
myself and been like, look, this isn't a good idea right now. I'm not ready to be around people, and I'm not ready to do your house and your program and whatnot.
That's not on
and
you,
instead,
though. That's
I
not
let
you.
other
Sorry, Parker.
Ray, what were you saying?
instead I
can you hear
let
me real
other
quick?
things influence that, and I went and whatnot, and then I
Ray,
left and I
Ray.
went to a mental institution.
Ray,
So,
we hear you, and we're not saying it's your fault, Ray, and that's the issue. You weren't in the right mindset to make that decision. That's very clear. It is their responsibility. It is Pat as the owner, it is Madison as the director to know what they can and can't do. What is their legal scope? They knew bringing you there was right. Hold on. Our point is we're not putting the blame on you. You were not in the right mindset to make that decision. It is their responsibility as the head of that house to know what they can and can't do. It is on them to make that decision to say that you can't be here. It is on them to make that decision that you need to go somewhere else first to detox, then come here. That is not for you. Did you have a choice? Sure. But you weren't in that place to make that choice is what we're saying. It is their responsibility. And that is what we talk about night after night, is where the buck stops, and it is with them.
Yeah, and I understand that, but I didn't have any contact. I didn't have any contact with Madison, and I didn't have any contact with Pat before I got there. The only person that I spoke to was Mason.
And the mental mindset.
But it's Mason's
you're in when
responsibility
you're-
to communicate that. It's Mason's responsibility to say you can't come. And it's his responsibility to tell his boss, we have someone who's coming here who is in the right place, so she can then direct it. They are staff. There's the owner, there's the director. They should have a system in place to actually handle this. They handled it wrong. That's what we're saying.
And the decision making when you're coming down off of whatever you are is definitely not in your favor, right? You're not making right decisions in your head. Your brain's not working correctly when you're coming off stuff too, right? That's why a detox is so important with medical professionals in case something does happen.
No, and you're absolutely right. And I understand that, but all I'm saying is that nobody told me to go to the garage. I asked permission if I could sleep out there, like I said before, because it was in the comments that somebody had said that I was told to go out into the garage. No, I wasn't. Whoever Mason McBozo is, like, I don't know why you're trolling me on my account, but yes, they did take me to go see a doctor while I was there. They took me to the ER when I was there. They got me fluids and some Suboxone to help ease it off. Just the Suboxone that they gave me at the ER. I wasn't allowed to get a prescription for it, which
Wait,
I had
Graceland Ranch gave you Suboxone from their own supply?
No.
Okay.
When I went to the ER, the doctor there at the ER gave me Suboxone to stop the
Guys, be
the
careful how you
withdrawals.
say. Be careful what you say on here.
Oh,
guys.
sorry.
Oh, yes.
Gave me some medicine at the ER to stop that, so that way, it would help. And then I went back to the house, and I was not allowed to get a prescription for that medicine because it wasn't allowed in the house. So, but I'm sorry, T. I did not mean to upset you. I didn't mean to put you on blast. I didn't mean to disrespect you. It was not my intention. It kind of caught me off guard, and I was like, wait, what? Because I was under the impression that you were like a normie, and I didn't know until recently. Somebody was like, didn't you know she's in recovery? And I was like, no, I had no idea. I was like, kudos to her. I think that's amazing. Anybody that's in recovery, whatever type of recovery it may be, Matt, Cali sober, whatever it may be, kudos to you for doing what you need to do to get there. I'm not saying anything bad about it. All I said, you guys have the recording. All I said is that it was like, that's interesting. I had no idea. Did anybody else know? Like I said, didn't know the Discord was being streamed to the TikTok either.
We can see it how we see it, but I just what difference would it make if I am in recovery and smoking green or not, or if I'm not in recovery and smoke? What did that add to the conversation with Pat? What difference does it make?
It wasn't directed to Pat, number one. It wasn't directed to him. It was directed to the Discord, because there's a lot of things that were talked about in there, that are talked about in there. Or did I say, hey, Pat? I don't know.
Yeah,
sorry.
said,
I don't
hey,
have
Pat.
a photographic memory. I've done a lot of rugs, so I don't have the best memory on shit. So I'm sure you guys have it recorded, like everything else, and that's fine.
You can play it again, Britt.
It wasn't with malicious intent. There was no malicious intent behind what I said.
Also, I do just want to say that
you don't want to accept the apology. That's fine. Let's
listen to the recording again.
Are they excuses if it's the reason?
Yeah, give me 1 second, Pat.
You just called Doug Pat.
Yeah, Pat, hang on, Pat.
I'm looking at a photo.
I've tried so hard to be friends with you guys, and to be a part of your guys' little group. I've tried so hard and cannot get accepted into it to save my life. I'm sorry for offending you. I'm sorry for this being excuses or yes, I'm fucking sober.
Ray, how do you think that you weren't
blasted? Really?
Ignore the comments for a sec.
Ray,
guys,
focus.
be nice in the comments. Ray, how do you think
seriously
that you weren't accepted? What
this shit right here is detrimental to anybody's recovery. I'm fucking 5 months sober and I'm slurring. I have fake teeth, homie.
Wait, hold on.
I slur and have a lisp.
Hold on, everyone, let's be kind.
Sorry.
Let's be kind to everybody. Also, we accept everyone.
Doug, I think you're hilarious. Grandma's Tea, I love your content. Evil Teapot, you put out some good shit. Parker, I've never met you. Britt, you've always been very nice to me. You guys have all been very nice to me, but it seems like every time I try to be friendly or friends with you guys, it bites me in the ass. So sorry for offending you. It is no excuses. It wasn't like that. But I'm not going to sit here and get berated.
Wait, hold on, Ray.
I want you to think about the manipulation with this right now.
I'm just not going to get fucking berated in your comments.
That's bad. And, I just wanted to be accepted when no one was cruel to you in our panel. Every time you came in, we were happy, asking you how you did. Did things get better? How can we help you? But for you, this apology, I want you to consider maybe how the manipulation is showing up and how you're speaking right now. I'm going to be honest with you. Because when you're saying, I apologize, and she doesn't want to accept it, and I guess that's fine.
And that's her right.
But Ray, the way you're saying it, And then now deflecting with, I never felt accepted in there, but you guys were always nice to me. I want you to really consider the manipulation language that's coming up. I'm going to be very honest right now.
I said, Britt, you've always been very nice to me. That's what I said.
Not that part, Ray.
Somebody's live. I was Doug. That was live. Did anybody know Evil Teapot as a smokescreen?
I didn't say Pat, did I? I said, did anybody know?
Oh, I can play from the beginning.
I just heard the most interesting thing on somebody's live. I was Doug. That was live. Did anybody know Evil Teapot as a smokescreen?
What's that mean?
She gardens.
Right. I'm sure they're all fucking a mess.
But it's so funny. It's all the judgment that we get for our shit, and then it's like,
And actually,
damn, dude.
give me 1 second, because Says got the full one, and that's when you came in and you said, hey, Pat. I just clipped it from when you were talking because I didn't want to get the rest of the conversation. When this did start, you were trying to get his attention. You said, hey, Pat. I can go get that recording instead, but I'll keep playing this one.
Yeah, there's no like real gnarly withdrawals that come off of that or anything like that. But
here's my thing, Ray. You know with the Discord, Pat makes it very clear because that's always asked. How do people feel with the Discord being streamed on TikTok? And he always says they know what they're coming into. He even said today they don't have to use their real names. So to say that you didn't know it was being streamed just seems disingenuous to me. I'm going to be honest. You went in there, you knew. He was actively live, Ray, with the Discord up for an hour.
I didn't know he was actively live because sometimes he does go in the Discord and he's not on TikTok. So I didn't know he was actively live. No, I didn't, because I had just popped in, and when he's actively live on TikTok, usually his camera's on. His camera wasn't on, so I just thought it was just a regular Discord meeting and he wasn't even there. Half the time when his camera's not on, he's not even there.
I just want to say, though, that Pat himself has made it abundantly clear, explicitly clear, that at any moment of time, just be prepared that I'll be recording. He makes it abundantly clear.
Yeah.
In every video also, he says, everybody knows that I'm recording, and they don't know when I'm recording, but they all signed up for it, and everybody knows that I'm recording, like blah, blah, blah. Just be prepared for at any moment I could be recording with a camera. And secondly, I just want to finish just really quick. I know you said you don't know me. I understand that. I'm not one of the T pages. However, I am somebody in recovery. I'm just like you. So I get it. I do. But you said before that the comments were very detrimental to recovery, and they are. But so was the house that you were in and the person who was owning it.
And why I was there for 7 days.
Right, and didn't stay, right?
And why I left there and went into a mental institution.
Right. Yes, that's basically what we're trying to say here. Besides, obviously, you making those remarks, just at the end of the day, what really matters is the fact that you did say some shit. But other than that is the fact that he's not supposed to be detoxing people, and that the house itself is very detrimental to recovery and the people who are in it.
Okay. And everybody's entitled to their opinion, and
100%, and everyone's entitled to their own form of recovery and their own pathway, and whatever keeps people, from harming themselves or others, however they get there, that's great. But to talk about someone else's recovery is not. But I did just...
your chat, it ripped me a fucking new one today. It has been a shit day since I woke up. It's been one thing after a fucking another.
Well,
and
I just want to say that chat, we don't control every individual that comes into chats on anyone's boxes. So none of that has anything to do with us. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. So if it's when I fuck up, chats rip me apart. It's the same shit. You can't control what chats say. And on social media, if it's harmful for reading those comments to you, then being in boxes and being a part of social media is probably not the healthiest thing to do right now if that kind of comments affects you.
Hey, I was just on a podcast for my.
I don't usually get this much, like, I don't usually have this many people coming after me, like, over what I said or my words not being said correctly or my apology not sounding sincere or this, that, or the other. Like, take it how you want to. I'm sorry I sound slurry. If I sound slurry, I don't think I do. I guess I'm used to it because, like I said, I have fake teeth. So my tongue doesn't hit in the same spot as it used to. So sometimes I do sound a little slurry, and it's because maybe I might not have my bottom teeth in or whatever it may be. But, like, I don't know.
You knowing
your
yourself
guys'
is
thing.
sober is the
It's
most
your
important
chat.
thing. Don't worry about what anybody else is saying. As long as you know.
Well, yeah, and I don't have to like justify like somebody, whoever is doing the Mason make whatever on one of my things where it says like I take antipsychotics, and Matt is not antipsychotic, so like whatever. Whoever thinks I'm on Matt, that's awesome. That's great. That's your opinion, but I'm not. So.
Well, also, Matt is not a bad thing. Matt saves people.
Ray, I did want to ask you because you made
very
a
much so.
comment.
It saved my ass in the beginning.
And I do want to say, like, you don't have to be. Oh, sorry.
I did want to ask Ray, because she did make a comment that somebody else had clipped that video. Have you ever asked Pat to take down that video so that other people can't clip that video?
I had mentioned it to somebody in the Discord who does his edits, and he said that he would talk to him about it, and I never heard anything else about it. I probably should need to bring it up again. But it wasn't like, I'm not trying, like, I want to be Switzerland, right? I want everybody to get along. I want Graceland to do great things. I want all of you guys to do great things. I want everybody to do great things. I just want everybody to get along. Now, granted, that's never going to happen because that's not how the world works. But it's like, I'm sorry. I'm sincerely sorry. I did not think what I said was doxing or was out of pocket or out of what am I trying to say? I didn't think what I was saying was so outlandish, and I do sincerely